That's what I'm saying.
Another escape from the jaws of justice reinforced the Noonans' apparent invincibility.
We're not dinosaurs and we'll never be extinct. No. It's not we have luck, it's just that Geordie believes that we're innocent people.
Will someone ever take a Noonan in Manchester?
I hope so. I hope it's me first. I'm fucking fed up. I'm fucking fed up and I've got no money. Not got a pot to piss in, got a shitty car, married, kids, mortgage, fed up. If you anyone think of setting the Noonans out, can you make me first, please? Please do it as quickly as possible. In fact, I'll even come to you if I have to. Just give us a phone call. I'll meet you anywhere you want and make sure it's behind the back of the ear and it's fucking clean. And don't let me linger for fuck's sake. I'm a whinging bastard. But please make me the first. But in the meantime, you want to set Dominic before me, then you can have him. You can't take him the Noonans. We're not done anything to be took out, have we? No one wants to hurt us at the end of the day. And if they did, by God, there'd be some fireworks.
Would there?
Oh, I've got a bigger army than the police. We've got more guns than the police, silly bastards. I'm down to 25 murders. Well, a load of bollocks, innit?
24, wasn't it?
No, I didn't do 24. And, what do you call it?
How many was it alleged you did?
Oh, for loads. To police have reckon 20, 30. They reckon behind them, they reckon I'm behind most of the murders in Manchester.
And are you?
No.
He's a good Catholic, believes in that.
I'm a Catholic. I don't believe in life for a life. I don't believe in taking life.
What is happening, YouTube? It's JME-TV and today we're in Southern Cemetery again. Now guys, today is absolutely roasting. I think it was 29 in the car on the way down. And while everybody else is sat in beer gardens finishing work early for the weekend, I'm walking around a cemetery. But I'm not just doing it for the fun of it, because we are here today to speak about somebody who was notorious in Manchester during the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I'll tell you a little bit about his life, a little bit about some of the things he did, and how he died. So, today we're going to be speaking about one of Manchester's most notorious gangsters, or should I say most infamous figures in Manchester, Desi Noonan, Desmond Noonan, but he liked to be called Desi. Desi was born in 1959 and he was a notorious gangster who rose to power in Manchester's criminal underworld. But it wasn't just him, it was his brothers as well, Dominic and Damien. The Noonans, if you are from Manchester, there is a big chance that you've probably already heard of them. The Noonans were a formidable family. They were involved in absolutely everything, from protection rackets to drug trafficking. So let's have a little dive into Desi's rise to power. He grew up on the tough streets of Chorlton in the 60s and 70s, and Desi quickly learned the importance of strength and influence in the late 1970s and early 1980s. At that time, Manchester was a thriving underworld, and the Noonans saw an opportunity to establish themselves, and establish themselves is exactly what they did. Desi, along with his brothers, started small. They were involved in petty crimes, street fights, but Desi had bigger ambitions. He was a strategic thinker and knew that to gain real power he needed to form alliances and eliminate rivals. He began by offering protection to local businesses, and that's a common tactic to gain both income and influence. He also had links to gangs in Moss Side and other areas of Manchester. One of Desi's key strengths was his ability to network. He connected with other criminal organisations, forming alliances that helped him expand his operations. And by the mid-80s, the Noonans were not just another gang, they were becoming a major force in Manchester's criminal scene. Desi had this sort of personality where he had a temper, and he was quite volatile. Even though he had charisma, he could switch in a second. He could be very persuasive, making people feel valued and important, which in turn secured their loyalty. However, it wasn't always smooth sailing for the Noonans, because they faced constant challenges from rival gangs, and Desi's ruthlessness came into play here. He was known for his tactics against those who threatened his territory, and there's a well-known story of a rival gang trying to encroach on some of the Noonans' territory. And Desi didn't just retaliate, he made a public example of them, ensuring that everyone knew crossing him was a huge mistake.
My mates asked me to whack you, Phil.
Did they?
So, yeah.
You're not very good,
For
are
the
you?
camera. Believe it or not, Don, we're a nice family. We don't do everything nice, but you know, we do look after each other. We look after our friends. We come out at end 3 or 4 in the morning. We stop all the burglars. We stop most of the filthy fucking drugs hanging about. You know what I mean?
Still seem to be very strong in Manchester.
Oh yeah, we're still strong. It's not just we're strong. We've got lots of strong people around us. It's not just that we're strong anyway. We've got lots of strong, loyal people around us. We'll always have that. You know, if they think they can just take one of his out when he's sober, then they're silly fucking people. Very silly people.
By the late 1980s, Desi had established himself as a vast network of connections, and he wasn't just involved in a street-level crime anymore. The Noonans had their hands in various illicit activities, from drug trafficking to high-level heists, and Desi also maintained a facade of legitimacy as well. He invested a lot in local businesses and built relationships with people in power, including law enforcement and politicians. Now, the duality, being a feared gangster while also a respected figure in some circles, made him incredibly powerful. One of the key turning points in Desi's rise was his involvement in the nightclub scene in Manchester's nightlife. It was absolutely booming in the 80s and 90s, when you had clubs such as the Hacienda, a video that I've done before this, and other venues across the Manchester scene. They provided security for some of the biggest name clubs, and with that security they used those venues for drug distribution. And the control of nightclubs gave Desi immense power and wealth, further solidifying his position in Manchester's criminal underworld. Despite Desi's growing power, Desi never forgot his importance of family. His brothers Damien and Dominic were integral parts of this empire. Damien, known for his brute strength, was often the enforcer, while Dominic was involved in various aspects of their operations together. And together, they were a formidable team, and their loyalty to each other was unbreakable. They even used to go with the slogan Latfoy, I think it is. Look after them that look after you. Fuck off them that fuck off you. And I think Dominic Noonan changed his name exactly to that. Desi Noonan, Damien Noonan and Dominic passed off as untouchable. But unfortunately, when you live in this sort of life, it just takes one person. Desi was last seen on the night of March 18, 2005, drinking at the Park Public House in Northern Moor. That's in Wythenshawe in South Manchester. Early next morning, he called his wife Sandra, telling her that he had been stabbed, and asked her to pick him up in Chorlton, which is where we are now. By the time she arrived, Desi was lying unconscious in Merseybank Avenue, despite being rushed to Manchester Royal Infirmary. He died of his wounds before arriving. Derek McDuffus was a drug dealer from South Manchester, and he was charged with Desi's murder on June 15, 2005. He was convicted and he received a life sentence. And to protect him from retribution by the Noonan family, McDuffus was placed in solitary confinement. Authorities believe that Desmond, who was suspected of having developed a drug addiction towards the end of his life, was coercing local drug dealers into supplying him with narcotics. It is believed McDuffus stabbed Desmond and threw him out of his residence, after which he bled to death in the street. Desi's brothers Damien and Dominic also played significant roles in their family's criminal activities, but Damien died in a motorcycle accident in Miami in 2003, just a couple of years before Desi. His death too was surrounded by suspicion, but this was the beginning of the end for the Noonans. Dominic, the youngest brother, continued the family's legacy. he was involved in various criminal activities, and he faced multiple incarcerations, known for his violent outbursts. But Dominic often made headlines for his criminal exploits. He's currently serving a sentence at the moment in jail. I think he's in Wakefield for sexual offences against minors.
For the Noonans, the funeral is a chance to mourn and a chance to demonstrate their strength. Desmond left behind a wife, ex-wife and 4 children. His relations have travelled from Ireland, the US and Holland to pay their respects. Bugsy, Paul and Sean, the next generation, are at the forefront of the occasion. The cortege, under constant police supervision and covert observation, march through northwest Manchester.
Desi's funeral was held on April 22nd, 2005, attended by hundreds of local residents. A Kilty piper band played as his coffin arrived in a horse-drawn carriage at St Aidan's Church in Northern-Moor. The event marked the end of an era for Manchester's criminal underworld. I will try and put a video of the funeral on this clip here. So guys, here we are. This is Desi Noonan's grave. Now, I don't know if the camera does this any justice, but it's absolutely ginormous, this grave. Now, if you look at the other graves, how small they are, this one is huge. Eternal rest grant, O Lord, unto the soul of Desmond Patrick Noonan, born 8th of the 8th, 1959, departed this life 19th of the 3rd, 2005, aged 45 years old. Much loved son, sadly missed, husband, father, son, brother, brother-in-law, uncle and friends how many. We miss his smile, cheery way, we miss the things he used to say, and when old times we often recall, it's then we miss them most of all. To a beautiful life came a sudden end, but he died as he lived, everyone's friend. So there we have it, guys. Desi Noonan. I suppose we did another video on Paul Massey. He was also linked with the Noonans at some point. I think they called it the Dorman Wars in the early 90s, where Desi and Paul and their crews took over the doors and security of all of them in Manchester, and that's how they got a fearsome reputation, and I think that's where it's all started from. But yeah, that's Desi's grave. And, you know, I'd say it is a cautionary tale about power, ambition and loyalty. His story shows that no matter how powerful you become, there's always someone waiting for a chance to take you down. In the world of organised crime, I suppose trust is as valuable as it is rare. So, Desi Noonan, rest easy. So guys, not a huge long one today. Hope you enjoyed that information there. There's a lot more online, more info about Desi if you want to look at some documentaries. That was just a bit of a brief history of the Noonan family and some of their activities that occurred and how he died. So guys, thanks for tuning in, watching the vid. So if you could do me a favour, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for new notifications of when I'm doing another video, and tell me in the comments tell me what you'd like me to do more. Would you like me to do more true crime? Would you like me to do more celebrity graves or notable people? Let me know in the comments. Let's get a discussion going. Thanks so much, guys. Let's wrap this one up. Have a good one.